Hey Libra, welcome to Dark Eve Tarot. I'm Eve. We're going to get you a message and we're going to look at a monster. We're going to look at an external monster and an internal monster. And we're going to start with external. Now that can be just something that's happening around you. It can be a big picture, small picture. It can be a person in general. Just something that's causing some issues or kind of messing with you. Or has the potential to mess with you. All right. The first card is basically just an identifier to help you identify this monster. All right, well, I mean, it looks like a king vampire here. This is someone that kind of is, it feels kind of like lurker, like stalker kind of energy here. Someone who stays hidden, like, someone who's like real brave when they're behind their keyboard with a username with a bunch of numbers, like, it's like false bravado or something. So here's something about you. That's interesting. It seems like you're kind of like this guardian figure. It's the Ten of Wands. I think the Ten of Wands part of this is that you've actually been through a lot. You have worked your way up to something here. And I want to say that this is like, it feels like a high position. Like you are some kind of guardian in a high position of something. Like you're trusted to be the lookout or to look out for things or something like that. And so here, this is something that you don't see about the monster or something that you don't realize. Oh, that they're ready to pounce. Check that out. And you have 10-10. It's like they're here, they're lurking in the shadows, right? And they're just waiting. It's almost like they're waiting for you to react so they can pounce. But the thing about this Ten of Swords here, just like this figure here, seems very immature. There's an immaturity about this. And just another message that's kind of coming in here, just with both of these tens, is that, 10 is a completion. So, like this guardianship of yours, I mean, it could be coming to an end. But also, like this monster here, this false bravado monster, like this, this may be their last pounce. It's like there's something's gonna change things here. It's like maybe you're up here like, okay, coast is clear, and not realizing that there's one last pounce or something. And so here, this is kind of like the goal or the purpose of the monster. So lame. It's like it just feels a little like tropey. Like when you watch a movie and you're super disappointed because it's all just a bunch of tropes and like nothing, like it lacks originality. Like, oh, because they just want to make you feel bad. Like, whatever, man. Maybe this immaturity here, maybe it's like, ignorance. I don't know. Maybe it's just ignorance because it just seems so basic. You know what I mean? Like you're above this. Like this is like tiddlywinks for you. You're like, yeah, whatever. So what's your advice? I really don't feel like you have anything to worry about here. This monster is just like costume. So what's the advice for Libra for the external monster? I almost want to say non-monster. This tropey, the tropey imbecile. Alright, what's the advice? Oh, defiance. And what I'm kind of getting with defiance is ignore them. It's like, really, it's almost like all they want is just attention. They just want attention. Like, ignore them. It'll dissipate. So let's look at an internal monster for you, Libra. I feel like that can be a little bit more tricky for you. All right, internal monster for Libra. Now, Virgo had the Temper. I kind of expected the Temper to come out for Libra. I don't know why, but it came out for Virgo. So let's see what the internal monster is for Libra. Identifier. How to identify this monster? 6 of Pentacles. It's weird. It's like, I mean, there's this sense of like giving or help, like this figure. They're feeding the birds, but what are they feeding the birds? This feels like I don't know, like flippy, mirrory, reversey, or something. I don't know. Is this like take back, like taking back? It's like taking back what was once given. That is weird. It's almost like if you don't give your shadow, which, I mean, that's what your internal monster is. It's your shadow, right? So it's almost like if you don't give your shadow attention, it starts taking little bits from you. Very clever. Very clever monster here. So here, this is something about the conscious you. Well, you're ready to be done with it. You're ready to complete a cycle, and I absolutely believe it because you're sitting in a 10 spot right here. It's like you're ready to wrap something up here. And it's almost like you're more concerned with that than any shadow stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you're not even thinking about this stuff. But while you're not thinking about it, it's like taking little bits because you're not paying attention to something. So here, this is something that you don't see or don't realize. Oh my gosh, it's gaining strength. Libra. All right, you are not aware of how strong your monster is getting. And I want to say that this right here, just the way that like he's sitting there on this throne and he's got his sword right here, like he's going to eventually demand attention. I wonder how long it's going to take you to wrap this up, whatever you're trying to close out. So here, this is if you don't look at it. If you don't look at the monster, if you don't pay attention to it, you don't address it, deal with it, whatever, then you're going to be disappointed. This is a disappointment card right here. This is the Knight of or the page, excuse me, the Page of Pentacles, but like this pager is holding this coin and he's like screaming at it, like, what? This is it? This is all, like, it's dissatisfied with the pentacle, the coin. This is all I have. It's almost like not having enough, but like you would have had enough if you hadn't let it be siphoned from you because you weren't paying attention to it or you weren't using it. It's almost like, because this internal monster is here to help you. It's here, it's part of you, it's here to help you. You can use it for good, right? It's like a superpower you could use for good. But by ignoring it, you're missing out. You're just missing out. And I don't mean to, like, be all FOMO with you and stuff, but it's like it's almost like there's a certain strength needed to start your next cycle. And you're going to be disappointed with that next opportunity or that next thing if you don't allow yourself to use, like, this resource within you. You know what I mean? So what's the advice? What's the advice for Libra? Alright, so we have an exile, and I don't quite understand. It doesn't really feel like advice. It feels more like, I mean, it's weird. It almost feels intimidating. Let's get some clarification. I kind of feel like it's like something coming from exile, as if like something happened in the past where you kind of banished a part of yourself. It's like bring it back from exile, because you're not finished with it or something. Yeah, you've like built a fence around it. Yeah, it's like you've got something really blocked off there. Yeah, I mean, you're meant to unblock it. And allow yourself to access all parts of you. That's how you can turn, like, this Page of Pentacles, this very disappointed Page of Pentacles, into more like the Ace of Pentacles. You know what I mean? Alright, Libra, this is your message. Take what resonates, and I will see you next time. Bye, Libra.